Step 8 is to add check values. So these would be added when there are very specific values that are allowed and then others are not allowed, or when an allowed value is in a specific range. And in these check values, you can actually reference any column in the current table. So let's look and see if we have any specific values that are known or that are limited, right? They're from this group of values. So user ID follows a pattern but isn't limited to certain values. First name, last name, password, none of those will be specific values. Now user type, we do have specific values for user types, right? So user types are going to be in, and we know that we can have students, right? And we know we can have instructors. We'll do those with an I. We know we can have admins, but we also know we can have combinations. So let's think of the combinations that we can have. We can have somebody that is an instructor and a student. We can have somebody who is an instructor and an administrator. We can have somebody who is an administrator and a student. We can have somebody who is all three, right? Administrator, instructor, and student. So there we have all the combinations of what user types there are. And that will enforce that we won't ever have an entry in this table other than these values for user type. Department, we don't have a set value for department or for major or GPA or class standing. We could put a range on GPA, right? Because we know that GPAs are less than or equal to 5, right? Less than or equal to 5 and greater than 0. So we could specify that. We could say, no, GPAs are in this range and we don't want to get a GPA that's outside of those. Class standing, these are tiny ints. Remember, we were going to just make these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we could even use 0 for non-matriculated. So we might be able to, talk to the university and find out what would be the most would be allowed. At this point, we don't know what that is, so let's go ahead and leave that blank. Phone numbers, user ID, again, would not have set values. User IDs would not. Section numbers would not. Okay, great. So now if we look at the scenario, it actually tells us what the options for grades are. So they're right here, so we can just copy those and we can say that grades are in this group. And there. And that's the list of possible values for grade. And we'll make sure that we won't get any in there that are not allowed. Section numbers, no, that's not an issue. Instructor, no. Course, semester. Now semester was specified in the scenario. So we know that semester can be these combinations. Let's see, semester right there. And so that one's in SP, SU, or FA. And those are the possibilities for what that can be, right? And then year. Now, we might want to specify a year that's valid. When did the university start? It's going to be bigger than that. When is the university going to end? It could be smaller than that, but we don't really know what those ranges are. So this is one that you could go either way on whether you want to validate the year on that. So we might pick something that we do want it to be greater than 1900 and less than, 2080, or I don't know, how long do you want the system to last, right? We don't know how long the university or the system is going to last. So we can just keep it, shorter than 2080, and then figure by then we will have updated this system or this database. Again, this one would be quite optional. All right, building, no, we don't have that. Room number, course ID, department, title, description. Even room number and building, if we had more information, we could limit those. But I don't know whether you'd have to consider whether it was valuable to have those checked or not. course numbers, department, title, description, credits. There you go. And so those are really the ones then that have values that can be checked by the database management system.